Evening, Jamie. How are you feeling? You've had 2 mega days at the Dublin Racing Festival. We've had an Irish bank holiday. How are you doing? You look fairly fresh, mate.
Oh, I don't feel it, Dave. No, I don't. Back to work tomorrow. It's a mess already. I've been contemplating life, but sure, that's what you get with a good weekend, I'm afraid, and then back to reality. But yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. From what I can remember, anyway.
We've had a ranting very early, which is it's fair from Gary, to be fair. Why is Jamie behind me in the thumbnail? Surely he should be where Hendo is. There was method behind the madness just because of the size of the bit that I was using. Bottom left. I'll spin it round and I'll crop Riki out. I will get it changed for the next video. It is fair comment. I wanted us on the same side, but without as a rant, he's fuming about it. Gary, just settle down. Gary, settle down. Let's calm out. We got this. All your lads, good job. I played my get out of jail free card on Ballyburn. Yeah, Sunday. Fresh trim. I know it does look. Oh, you talk about Jamie. Yeah, fair enough. Steve. Why is everyone complaining about Warren Great? Colbert always going to Warren Great. Right, we'll talk about that too. Just fuck off. Catching up with EastEnders, lads. Ooh. We don't. It could be Josh. It could be Andrew. Maybe they're there together with a cup of tea. Anyway, Tuesday. We don't normally do it on a Tuesday. I might just move it to Tuesdays going forward because is what it is, isn't it? Anyway, we've got lots to cover. Really, there's been all sorts of stuff going on. There's been some lots of highs and lows. I feel like especially over the weekend, just lots of stuff that's happened, especially in the racing world, just the racing world. There's been a lot of like not negative, but like down, sad reality check stuff that like slaps in. We'll talk about that as we go through. Not too much onto like the doom and gloom of stuff, but I think it does deserve paying a little bit of attention. It's top of the show, right? We're going to talk about the profit and loss because obviously it wasn't a very good Saturday. I would imagine for a lot of people, but yeah, particularly for my stuff. It's Josh as well. Hi, Josh. I know I didn't come over this year, just hidden in my wake. It's too expensive. We haven't all got cash like you, Josh. You saw how much I did my conkers on the Saturday.
So it was Josh won't mind me saying he was trying to look after some fella.
Right, so just to go through them, Saturday, right, 425 went out, you'll know. Right, so technically 125 comes back on what I put in the video in terms of the description, right? £50 each way path through. That was the only return that come back. However, I did actually do Hermino each way, right? And I know people just probably get annoyed with me saying this stuff, but this was the still that I shared. You can see that £12.50 does not return 260 quid at 33 to 1. I did get £47.50 back from that. Obviously, that's still only a small dent, but for the purpose of my profit and loss figures, in case anyone's wondering why, they are what they are. So anyway, lost 252.50 on Saturday, 60% return on investment down. And then on Sunday, we all knew that it was probably only be Ballyburn that won. So made 75 quid, 31% return on investment. Overall, we're going at 6.8% return on investment. So it's not exactly anything worldly, but could always be worse. Tiny bit unlucky as well. I thought Hermina was going to win. I thought Percival Legalwa was coming up with a run. I thought Bialy Stock was going well. I even thought So Scottish was going well. But that is horse racing, right? That'll be part of what we can talk about. The second thing on the agenda, I know people are literally just here to hear from Jamie, but I'm just waffling and getting it done as quickly as you can. Did a competition, didn't we, with Johnny Deneen, saying that anyone in the live comments who could pick a winner Saturday, Sunday, I would give you a prize worthy of the return that you got back. So, interestingly, I thought after Saturday, I'd avoided having to pay anything out to anyone. I thought, no way has anyone fucking got a winner, let alone going to roll into a double. However, the live comments, right? I'll quickly just pull this up on the screen just because I like to try and be thorough, don't I? Here, if I pull it, oh yeah, you might be able to see it a little bit. But anyway, this shows the an extract of the comments that come live from the video, right? So I can pull what people have bet in there. If I filter it out, there was a couple of people that had a winner. See if I can click on it. I mean, I know this is tedious for everybody out there, but basically we had a couple of winners that come there. Ilete Temps and Ballyburn for Jamie Sanders, but unfortunately he didn't win because Joel Hawkey's Madara and Factorfile paid a tiny bit more. So Joel Hawkey, Madara, 17.50 is all you got back from like a point's sake. It's poor, isn't it? But drop an email into Ranting Racing, mate. I'm going to give you a £25 free bet. I mean, basically stick it on Cheltenham because it's Cheltenham, innit? But yeah, I think like that's a fair enough return in it. Done enough money over the weekend. I might as well donate some more to someone that can clearly pick some winners. One other bit I just need to quickly comment on because he could be watching it live. Apparently he was before. Someone called Ronnie Front has sent a couple of comments in. I'll read them out in this order, right? And you can decide in the comments, even if he does prove it, whether I should pay him. One says, chopped it off, lads, with my double on the live chat. Ilete Tomps, Fleur Othuzil. Ronnie, I can't see anything in the chat. So if you can go back and watch the live video, which I've already done, and I can't see it, and show me that you put that double in, I'll give you a £25 free bet as well. So screenshot that, email it into Ranting Racing. Drop an email anyway if you want to contest it, whatever it is. Also, you said at the same time you sent a comment on the other one saying if Ballyburn had lost, I'd have feared all for this lad. He would have lost everything. I mean, it's probably a fair comment, but be nice, Ronnie, if you think I'm going to give you a £25 free bet. Anywho, that kind of covers that. I can't see him in the comments. Maybe he's got himself set to private or something like that, but not my problem, is it? Anyway, that's competitions done. Loads of dirty, filthy racing over the weekend. We have had a rant that's coming from elsewhere as well, but let's just let Jamie talk for a little bit. Jamie, you were there for the 2 days. I want to know your highlight of Saturday and Sunday. Firstly, from like, I know it sounds mean, but your favorite result of something that got turned over, if you could think of one of them, that could be over the weekend. Your favorite result personally for you, which I know which was that is, and then not something like non-racing related, because I know you met up with loads of people there. It's a good crowd, this whole racing world, and it, regardless of opinions and the way we do stuff or whatever it is, everyone's in there for the same reason, right? We've got a passion for horse racing. So come on, Jamie, sell the Dublin Racing Festival dream to all of us to cure that hangover of yours.
I know, exactly. You just hit the nail on the head, really, Dave. It was great to see everybody there. And it was great fun in the hotel afterwards. Everyone there just sitting around, just chatting about everything, really. To be honest with you, it was good fun. Very good fun. Really enjoyed, very relaxing. It was nice there on the Sunday evening, right? It was just, there was a less of a crowd there. I suppose more kind of I suppose to me, the way I look at it, more of a racing crowd goes the Sunday, and the Saturday it's like a free-for-all, which is fair enough. About selling the product, I presume, and it's just the way it is now. There's more people maybe who have no interest in horse racing, but just want to go for the event, which is fine. Do you know what I mean? And look, that's just the way the world at the moment, and I have no problem with it. And people are just enjoying themselves, and that's the main thing, isn't it? Horse tech, I suppose. Horse tech, I suppose Saturday. I couldn't leave Dancing City go because of the form of Ballyburn and Slade Steel, so I think I was the only one roaring in the stand for it. Anyway. So it was just a cover bet because I back Predators Gold. It's nothing to sing to the cows come home that, oh yeah, I back Dancing City on its own. That's about it. But no, I had to cover bet. I was happy with that. It kind of went downhill after that. Marine Nationale, I suppose, very disappointing. I suppose the only thing about Marine Nationale getting beaten is that I thought Gaelic War should be in that race. I think he'd have won that race, regardless of his bad run on the Sunday, because I think he just stopped after 2 miles. And obviously there was something wrong. He's probably better off going right-handed at the moment. The only race I can see Gaelic War run in Cheltenham is the Arkle. I forget about the Turners now. The only thing I will say, Gaelic War probably might end up at Cheltenham, because 2 weeks later is the old Powers Gold Cup at Ferryhouse. That's 2 weeks after Cheltenham now, so like he's a stone and more better horse going right-handed. Marine Nationale didn't look comfortable at all. I was right there in the middle of this, going up the track, and head was flapping up and down, and I think he was just feeling his wind, Dave, giving out about the ground. The ground looked like it was worse on the Saturday than it was the Sunday. It looked like he tried out a small bit for the Sunday, but I'm a bit skeptical. Like, I thought they got the official going wrong for the Saturday. It was a lot softer than I thought it was. They were crawling around in the races, in my opinion, and they turned into kind of sprints. The Arkle, I suppose, after Marine Nationale being beaten, is wide open. Like, you don't want to, like, you're going to be taking a massive chance of Marine Nationale coming back. Gaelic War and even it brings a lot of horses into it. A lot of horse found at 50. Let's say Tom, to me, is just a Leopardstown horse. Just wins at Leopardstown, just mops up grade ones when horses are not at their full best. Fast Vega needs to go up and trip. I suppose. Look, I was looking further afield. Like you could say, Quicksilios now has come into it after his performance at Naas on good ground. And And Willie Mullins' other horse that I wouldn't give up on, even though I was getting a good chunk of weight from Spallan's Tower, but ran well again for like the bones of 2 miles 2 that day in that race at Punchestown, and it was Blood Destiny. They're all going to come into it now. I think they have, to be honest with you, it's a wide open race. I suppose the performance of Saturday, I don't know, was there one real, performance that stood out? I don't think there was. I suppose the bumper horse now was, but now that's gone. Unfortunately, Jeroboam Machan, unfortunate for them. Cargeese did it well. There's a couple of horses in behind who have potential, but do you see Cargeese beating Sergino in the Triumph? I don't think so. Gallop and the Champ did what he had to do. Do you know what I mean? So I suppose the standout performance for me on this Saturday was the bumper horse. Now he's not running; he's injured, which is very unlucky. I suppose it's good to see as well that the English, the Brits, whatever, came over and had a winner. Unfortunately, we were on the second horse. I didn't fancy that horse, Madara, but look, it's good for the game. I hope more English horses came over because there's big prize money here. On to Sunday, well, who I'm going to say is the standout to me, the standout performance of the whole meeting, it's Ballyburn. To say the horse was 2 seconds quicker than Stateman, and Stateman looked just as awesome as him. But I'll tell you how good he is, and be a good field. And second horse, I suppose, is a very good horse, Slade Steel. Very, very good horse. Would you see the tweet from Ruby Walsh afterwards that, have you seen this year's Supreme horse beat the, what's it called now? Bearing Bingham, is it? Yeah. Have you seen that? I wouldn't go that far yet, but there could be a switch there. You just don't know where Ballyburn, but I hope Ballyburn, as I said, goes into Supreme. Factify was good. Future Gold Cup horse to me, Dave, and it should be in the Turners. I think Willie Mullins likes having his, I might be wrong, I think Willie Mullins likes having his Turners horse now and then go on to a Gold Cup, because sometimes that Brown advisory ruins horses for the following season. So I think Factified to me is Factified at the moment against maybe Ginny's Destiny. It looks like the top two in the race for the Turners at the moment that stand out. After that, that's it really. I suppose the flip side of that, for a punting perspective, it's kind of gone a bit downhill. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a punter. Like, what are you going to be doing? Putting 1 to 3 shots in 3 or 4 ACCAs every festival? That's not going to appeal to many people. Punters were people who were just there for the good time on and couldn't just like to watch and couldn't care less what the price is. That's for them. But the ordinary Joe So punter, like all of us that were there, is that going to appeal in the long run? That's where I fear for these kind of festivals now, that we like to see grade 1 horses, but then we only have them in one stable. And it's a pretty fine line. And if it keeps going that way, look, everything turns around eventually. But like, all the owners now want to have horses with Willie Mullins, and that's it. That's it, and you can't do anything yet. And I suppose for the most sick point of view, the whole meeting was, I was on, I know the way you're thinking, and Percival Lagalwa, and that hurt. 16-1, that hurt. But sure, look, that's punting. He looked, I don't know, like, if you look back at the race, I thought Hartwood ran well to the line, but it was up in the air. Look, we'd like to seen it. When I saw it first, I thought Percival would be coming to win the race, but then I watch it back, Hart would have probably would have won. That's just me when I watched it again. Do you know what I mean? When I watched it on the big screen, I think Hart would have ran away. A very well handicapped horse. I suppose that's it, really, Dave. To be honest, stand out Ballyburn. I suppose the biggest burst of bubble really was Gaelic Warrior and Marie National.
Yeah. I think that's a fair summary, to be honest with you, mate. And well done for managing to get all the way through it without passing out, chundering up, or doing something. It's hard as well when you look back and relive some of it as well, because there was definitely on the Saturday, there was lots of, like, I would guess, like, strange results and stuff as well. Obviously, with Hermes Alan Parson as well, there ends up being those bits. And no one wants to see any good horse obviously pass well, but even just to get beat, because especially in the Irish Arkle, we talked about the preview, didn't we? And I was saying that run the race 6 times. Facile Vega probably wins it once or twice, and then Marie National wins it the other 4. it's a concern of what he's done, but you'd be happy to fully like forget it and put a line for it. But from like a I don't know, like a fan's perspective, but from a punting perspective, I would just think that anyone that's already on him, I wouldn't be tearing up your slips. But at the same time, I don't think anyone's going to be going in to have a go on him, are they? Let's be honest. It's one of those. But he's definitely not fire and done. The interesting thing as well is, we see the stats every year for every race at Cheltenham. The Arkle's one that I just remember all the time for however long I can remember. It's always in the last 10, one last time out, one last time out, one last time out.
Mm-hmm.
Someone did ask me earlier, and I couldn't think off the top of my head. So I did a tiny bit of digging. But for Paddy de Plaster was the last horse that didn't win his last race before he went and won an Arkle. Everything else, as far as I know, has won before his last Arkle. So that's 2009. He even came second as well. So that means it's found a 50 Alete Toms, or it's coming over to Britain. Master Chewy Matata runs in the Kingmaker on Saturday. It's one of those where, like, we want to see these worldies, we want to see the legends. Marine National and Fasabego, I still think are the best two novice chasers I've seen this season at 2 miles. If Gaelic did step back, he might be able to do it, but he's definitely a right-handed merchant. We're just going to have to see, aren't we? We have to just see what happens when it comes into it. It makes the race a more interesting betting medium, because prior to that, Marine National was already 8 to 11 for the race, thinking that Gaelic Warrior wasn't going to go there. So as punters, it's good to try and pick it apart. It does scare me a little bit because I don't think I know who's going to win it. And I'm stupidly still in my head, I can't stop thinking of Vega, because I'll forgive Vega every run he does at Leopardstown, the same as anyone betting Gaelic Warrior right-handed would forgive him probably anything he does left-handed. One thing just quickly on Gaelic, right? He jumped straight, didn't he, for like a lot of his fences? Because I laid him pre-race. He jumped the first 2 fences straight as a buck, went into like 2s on fairly quickly, and then I was thinking, I might as well just get out and just leave this one. But Factor Far was filthily impressive, wasn't he? And it makes me a little bit sad with Gaelic Warrior, because he clearly is a good horse. The Alete Tomps line actually boosts him a little bit from his run the previous day going right-handed. I do hope they still go to Cheltenham with him. I know it seems strange, but it was a 2-runner race. We don't want a small field for him to get stuck in there, but I still want to see him go to Cheltenham. I thought his jumping was okay. We'll see what happens with his engine and stuff. And I don't know, the Turners does look weak enough, but they might avoid it, mightn't they? But yeah, he's just one of those. We said it beforehand, didn't we? Like we were. I guess we were against him at Cheltenham, weren't we? Regardless of how much of a monster he looks like. Mm-hmm. And then it was this Leopardstown one. I'm a little bit annoyed with myself I didn't leave the lay in there. Anyhow, that's about it. So my performance of the weekend was obviously Ballyburn. It got me out of the hole anyway. But like from a horse going into Cheltenham, the 2 things I think I've confirmed, like without any doubt in my mind, is that Ballyburn wins the Supreme. If he went into a Ballymore, barring Bingham, I still would fancy him, but I think he might, I don't know, he'd have more questions around that race than he would the Supreme. So I know you've had a few quid on him for the Supreme, back in your opinion from early in the season. So I think that's worked out well for you, mate. And Sir Gino just absolutely shits home in that triumph, because that juvenile, Cargies did very little wrong, considering she did loads wrong the time before. So fair play to her, goes and gets it won. But I think it was 5 1/4 lengths split the first 6. You can't have a bunch finish like that and every single one of them be worldies. So I think it just confirms that he's a beast. El Fabiano probably does win the champion chase. State Man's going to make Constitution. He'll think about something, but probably get blown away again. It's a few more questions than answers, but it was getting to the point where you go through the races and it was starting to feel a little bit stale and obvious. So at least it's opened up a few markets now. Mm-hmm. Do you think Ballyburn definitely goes Supreme? I mean, we know it's not definite, but from your perspective, aside from the betting, why would he go anywhere else?
No, he shouldn't go anywhere else, Dave, because what we always say, the Stair wins the Supreme and goes on further, and the Ballymore is more the speed horse, where I'm hoping Mystical Power runs in the Ballymore, because I think doesn't jump well enough to win a Supreme. And I still think Jericho the Repine still has a chance in the Supreme. Look, he was just learning the last day, and it was good to see him come through a battle. Compared, cribbing it. Yeah, of course you're going to crib it, but look at the way John Bon ran there that Rossington race at Haydock one year, and he's gone. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm sure JP is going to have his say, and Mark Walsh was over to run beyond Jericho for a reason. Do you know what I mean? So Jericho isn't going in any other race, if you know what I mean. So I think Mystical Power will go into Birmingham, Bingham, wherever it's called now, and I think it'll win that race, because I think this horse it's time to settle. They go slow, you know yourself, in every Ballymore, the track compared to come down to the main track. They go slow enough. and then they pick it up through the race, and the speed horse wins that race. And I think that horse is full of speed, and I prefer that. That's just my angle. Now, if they switch the other way around, I wouldn't touch Mystical Power for Supreme, but I will still back Burn for Ballymore. Come back to your point there about the trial. Really, I thought the horse to take out of it for the future, and everyone, it's an obvious one is Marysborough. Yeah, Marysborough. Like, if Marysborough had a run, Marysborough would have won that race. I'm fully convinced of that. Bunting, don't know what they're going to do with it. Are they going to, like, Tony Bloom's a punter?
Yep.
Are they going to go with the Boodles and just say, I'm going to win a big handicap? Do you know what I mean?
He could, like I say, with Cargeese did loads wrong the last day. Bunting was the horse in this race, apart from High Wind, because High Wind did loads wrong but didn't pay out. Bunting did loads wrong, but still finished with a little bit. Like, you could almost forgive him it next time out, couldn't you, if he clears up those mistakes? So he's definitely got a race in him, isn't
he? The other one to take out of it was Ethical Diamond. I thought that ran on very well, made a lot of mistakes, but another horse that's learning on the job as well, like, so definitely ones that are going to win races throughout the season if they come out again, if you know what I mean, keep going through the season, without a doubt.
Yeah, nice. So I'm just going through some of the comments as well, because plenty going on in there. Play nice, gentlemen. Western Warhorse 2014 refused to race. I think he bolted pre-race, and then he had to have that was one of his first chase starts, so that never happened. And then he had one chase start, didn't he? Because he actually did win before he did Champagne Fever. Not that I go back and look at that year after year, Scotty, just to remind myself of the pain that it was. I don't know if I told this story before. No one needs to hear it, but I'm going to say it anyway. At the top of the centaur, there's like the front bar bit. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe the estuary back bar, something like that. They've got some traps in there. I was very nervous on the first day. I was in one of the traps. Heard the commentator talk about Champagne Fever. Comes up to take the race. Just wiped my ass, walked out, and thought that I'd won a load of money. And then as I came out, I just saw on the screen that Western Warhorse had won. So that was it's a good memory every time I go to the toilet. Anyway, we didn't need to hear about that. Anything else from Dublin Race Festival or races anywhere else over the weekend that you think were worth bringing up to review? Because I know we do like to cover a lot of the racing that's happened. I do also feel like it's one of those where I mean, people can make up their own minds, can't they? Jesus, do your own homework.
Very, very annoying that Maxim, who was all over the same race last year, comes out and wins. Would I be taking any of that horse out of that for Per Thames, who are horses that are qualified? No, that's just my opinion.
You know who wins the Per Thames? They dropped him £2 for it as well.
Who?
Chantry. They dropped him £2 for the little James Bowen look over his shoulder. He's on it as well. It just stinks of when Dame de Compagnie, when they complained about the £2 bit. I know in this instance it's very different, isn't it? Chantry shits up in the Per Thames. You heard it here.
Well, not I think first. Was it Sophie Leach was kind of saying that they might throw Madara in the plate now instead of the annual because of the way it won at the new course instead of the old track. It would suit it better. I don't know. I think the handicapper's going to have it stay there because it was actually impressive enough. I will say that. Pat Theroux, I suppose, is in no man's land. Didn't jump well enough.
He was unlucky when he was
unlucky. Like, a better handicap horse came in. Look how far he was ahead of the rest after that.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things. I thought it was a good run from you ought to know from the break, but the winner was very good. Like, Jesus, that looks a fine horse. But look, it's had a setback now, and we'll just wait to see it again. In behind, like Patrick Munnins was giving out that Redemption Day, the ground was too soft for it. But Redemption to me is like Johnny Deneen saying about it, Atlantique on up in the empty. I think that horse is a bit soft in my opinion. And just probably needs a rattling fast pace on better ground to be seen into good light. And that's me thinking handicap next year or Cheltenham or something like that, or a big handicap down the line somewhere out in Galway or somewhere, something like that. It just needs better ground and it needs a fast pace. I suppose now with Jeroboam Machan out of the bumper, geez, that's wide open. Like, we're a brave man to say you have the winner of the bumper.
Brecon Castle. I've told you ages ago. It's one of those years and it's going to throw up a howler. It's either him or
who's Brecon Castle trained by?
Brookhouse, isn't it?
Brookhouse, yeah. No, I think Paul Nichols might have a few for the bumper.
Yeah, but then he didn't run him on Sandown on Saturday, did he? So I mean, he's got to be. He would get him out soon, and he's not entered at Newbury, which is the race that Bally Andy won before he went to Cheltenham. I know there's probably time, isn't there?
He's going to Exeter on Sunday, so.
Well, we'll see, won't we? We're supposed to go to Sandown, and then he got bottled.
They had a decent one there of a person I met. He was somewhere today, and he said that a horse called Nichols says called Quebecois has a chance in the bumper if it runs, but it looks like a 3 mile chase. I saw it today. Actually, I actually sat down and watched it. He looked decent enough, but I think at the moment Gordon Elliott in Ireland looks to have the best 2 bumper horses, Jalan Juderie and Romeo Coolio.
The only worry with the Jalan Juderie thing, though, again, I've watched it a few times. Redemption Day just threw it in.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah.
Maybe anyway, maybe. But it's another exciting renewal though. You'll get 6 places on the day for these bumper ones, and there will be 25 to 1 plus horses that will come 5 of those 6 places. I reckon.
The 2 best Woody Mullins ones I've seen so far anyway is obviously the mare, Maureen, but I don't think Maureen's going to Cheltenham. It's going to Aintree instead. And what was the name of that horse, Dave? That one?
Jasmine Devey.
Yeah, Jasmine Devey. Yeah, the one at Naas. I suppose that's it. So, it's very up in the air, very open. I suppose, the 2 handicap chases. No, sorry, the handicap chase on the Sunday, obviously, with Hartwood and Percival at Galois. I suppose I know either way you're thinking, didn't try hard, in my opinion. And the one that was severely eye-catching, and I see it being tipped everywhere now, it's basically favourite for Kim Muir. And it's Good Time Johnny. Ran well up the straight. I'm not sure it's everyone. I'm not saying, it's under the radar or anything like that. If you watch it, you can see it straight out, do you know what I mean? The handicap hurdle, I thought we were on a good thing, but where are they going to go with him now? There is a race in that horse because the way it travelled. I think the jockey, who was it, Dunamiller, got a bit excited because So Scottish was travelling too well, in my opinion, and just didn't get home for some reason. I thought, does it need further? Do you know what I mean?
I think he does. He could still be a plate one, couldn't he?
Yeah. I suppose the way exactly what you said, the way he travelled in that race off a fast pace in the December Gold Cup is going to suit him down to the ground. Zenta looked like the winner then, and then Magic and Zoe took it up. And look, it's good to see Harry Rogers, who's training for a long, long time, an 11-year-old winning the race. Look, if you back that, fair play to you. I think the Mayor's Bumper, they're well below the standard, I think. I think there's nowhere they wouldn't touch that Maureen of Willie Munn. I know it's Willie Munn's Wonder Race, but that they're miles behind that Maureen, miles behind it. Very poor renewal, I thought. Even the Crawford horse was well touted, like a big, huge strapping mare. She was beaten 3 furlongs out. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't great. That's about in the handicap. It's supposed in the grade 1 behind Ballyburn. In regards to County Hurdle, King of Kingsfield and Absurd, they were very eye-catching, weren't they?
No, absurd more so than King of Kingsfield. I still think King of Kingsfield's a really nice, lovable horse.
Would end up with Supreme on a fast-paced Supreme, do you think?
No, I just think he's running his absolute heart out every time, like he's trying his best, and there isn't any more improvement in him like there would be for some of these horses that got less on them. I think regardless of how they train him, he's always trying his heart out. So I think he's showing his best on the course. I mean, he'll end up in no man's land for a little while, I reckon. Then he'll pop up in 6 years in the cross country. Yeah,
and I backed Thing ages ago because I knew it needed a qualifying run and not being smart and blown spoke up my own hole.
Yeah, you did say.
Absurd for a County Hurdle, yeah. That was a qualifying run. It's qualified now, so I'm the good thing about Absurd is, Dave, and this is a fact. This horse has run in big, huge field handicaps, and it's running a Melbourne Cup, the Hurly Burly of an Ebor. Should have won an Ebor, really, if you think about it. Did it win the Ebor? It was the second one, isn't it? The Ebor. Absurd.
Won the Ebor.
Did it win the Ebor? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But used to have Hurly Burly of big handicaps. I think that horse buried in a big field in the county. I think it's a great bet. And I'd advise to back it. No non-runner, no money back, whatever you want to do.
Ballystock, just one that you haven't mentioned in there, but he was travelling nicely when he came down. When he is a winner in waiting, but we well found. He was well found.
Extra furlong, Dave, though, in the county.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where they'll run.
Mm.
I wouldn't particularly fancy him as like a Cheltenham horse. It was like Gaelic last year, innit? They obviously had that race in mind to go and win it, but he'll win something.
Do you remember?
I
Do you remember the
just
race?
don't know I don't think it'll be
Did you back him?
Cheltenham.
I think you backed him last year. Do you know that race he won a punch down in the first stage? Is always a big 2 mile handicap. He won that last year.
Yeah.
I think he'll win it again this year.
Well, there we go. Sorted. Completed it. Completed the review. We found all the winners. Again, there was some stuff in the comments. Not necessarily going to go through all of them, but there was some talk about Grange Clare West. Willie Mullins, when he was interviewed on TV, talk about him being a non-runner, saying that they didn't travel up. Then it said the horse was cast in box, what the Racing Post official thing was. But he talked about the fact that he managed to phone the Cheveley people and say to them, don't get on your flight from Heathrow. Then when Lydia said to him, is he okay with all that sort of stuff? And he was like saying, it was basically was trying to not say anything. We said it's, oh, we'll see when we get home. We'll see when we get home type stuff. There is, I was looking on the exchange to see if there's any like big bad drifts or anything, but there's definitely something unsettling about Grange Clare West for me. And there is something that's been mentioned there. I haven't specifically heard anything, but
I heard
there are some rumor mills going around.
I heard he's still named, so just keep an eye on Betfair for the next couple of days.
Yeah, and obviously that makes it go mad for the Brown Advisory, because if Fatsfile goes Turners, Grange Clare West isn't there. All of a sudden, you're looking at Gaelic goes back to his original target. I don't even know if he's in there, but you look at like Stairway Fair. You're looking at Ray Dawning. Back to the British, the Prestbury Cup's coming our way. Speaking of which, I hear Ian Rayner did his best to infect the Irish coming over with the Lurgy, didn't he?
Ask the two boys what it's like to be in a room with him, then you'll never stay with him ever again.
Mad. It's good to see, like, for everyone to get together. I was genuinely jealous seeing the post from like Joe. You put one up as well, and then seeing the ones from Scotty. Everyone getting together was nice. There is also a comment that came in here about apparently Sean was with your hand on your leg. I feel Borat was there. Jamie, I must ask, how did you feel with Sean's hands on your leg? Looked rather romantic.
He can come over if he wants some wallpaper the room if he wants me to get rid of the misses. There's no problem at all.
But yeah, look like it was good fun, to be fair. I mean, Cheltenham will be better, but this is the beautiful thing of the big races, right? In the race meetings, not necessarily the quality of the racing, it's who you're there with, but it was quality racing, to be fair, at the Dublin Race Festival, and it's given us lots of clues for potentially going forward. There's been a few fishing marks as well coming over. There's like a few that I've got bang on my radar, and unfortunately, I do like to share stuff. We can talk about things left, right, and centre, but we're inside 28 days for the preview that we will be doing live at Toaster Racecourse. So, given the fact that we get 100 people at home when they've got nothing to do watching us on YouTube, we probably will be light on numbers when it comes to Toaster itself, but there will already be people there. We will be doing all the races, but not so much in depth for the big ones, like very little time spent on the Supreme and stuff because less needed. Although fucking now the Argos been blown over, we would need more time. Handicaps, and we fucking hammering them. I'm sorry to swear, but 2 more weeks from today, the 20th of February, we will get entries, I believe. I've got so many on the side burner. There's one that I'll message you after this and tell you because it's still a monster prize. So I believe is going to win one of the handicaps, but we've got to save some of these, right? So when it comes to Toaster, again, this year, Paul that's on there has loads that he gets smashed up because he fancies him. He'll tell a few people, or he'll have a good few quid off. We're holding back a little bit for the preview thing for that night. So if any of you can make it there, it is free. There's decent dog racing going on. I'm being sent some freebies to give away as well. We'll have a few beers. We can have a chat. If you don't want to come, then that's fine, but you probably won't know what we talked about that evening. I'm going to see if I can do something to record it to possibly be able to put it out the next day, but I can't commit to that because it's too much money to get it done properly. And secondly, I'm convinced we're going to move some markets, so I reckon it will piss a few of you off if you watch it the day after and you wish you were there. Anywho, get yourselves Toaster. It's not too far away. If you do any details on that, just drop me a DM or something. But, mate, it's getting close. I'm so excited about it. I'm popping down there this Sunday, actually, to test out the equipment and stuff. Where is Toaster? Like Buckinghamshire, Northamptonshire. It's near Milton Keynes. That's where I'm from. So like near the M1 type stuff.
It's near Bedford from where I'm from.
Yeah, Midlands. The only thing we have you've noticed, Man United, Man City are playing, aren't they? They don't have Sky Sports Toaster Race course, but I'll speak to the owner Kevin on Sunday and see if we can.
Let's switch to the Sunday.
It's Sunday, I think, isn't it? The United City game.
I thought it was down for the Saturday, no?
I think it's well, we'll have to check. If it's on the Sunday, I thought it was on the Sunday one. If it's on the Sunday, I'll get a dodgy stick somewhere and we can watch the football there as well. Yeah. Anywho, that's that bit to talk about the handicaps. I'm just going to quickly go back to an email that was sent in for a rant, right? Just because it's things to talk about, right? So I think, to be fair, this goes back to like the beginning part of it when we used to talk about rants and we used to have like genuine things to do it. Yes, there are a million roundabouts. Hi, mate. Love the show. I mean, lots of people don't even put that in their email, but I just say that at the start of emails to float my own ego. No, but he has said this time. I need to start changing punting strategies at Musselburgh from fancied horses to smart jockeys. Every time there is a big meeting with fancied horses, they get caught out with jockeys who can't ride the track. They swing the final bend and start bumping them along when there's about 6 furlongs left to run, then wonder why the horse has nothing left when they get to the second last fence. Inevitably, the winner comes from the jockeys that know the pace of the track, sit and wait to commit. Infuriating when you know a horse has a great chance and it's thrown away. There isn't a track in the country that gets so many bad rides. Anyway, thank you for the great content every week. Cheers, Dave. That sounds like I've sent it to myself. David Rich is his full name. He hasn't asked to be anonymous, so I'm putting it out there. I'll give you his address as well if you want. But it's one of those tracks, right? There's snobbery within me as well. Like, I don't like the Northern Circuit purely. The only reason I said I don't like it is I don't believe the standard of like form catches up, right? If you've got a 150 horse in Ireland, a 150 horse in England, and a 150 horse in the Northern Circuit, the Irish horses say it's 150, the British horse is probably 145, and the Northern Circuit horse is probably 140. But when they do get these big meetings like this, I watch lots of the racing up there too. There was a handful of rides that begged the question of, I don't watch that much Northern Circuit racing, but I said it watching the racing. Why the fuck have they gone for home so soon? And I know people will say, oh, maybe the horse was tired of that type of stuff, but I'm with the man on there. So have you got any tracks or any places like that makes a difference on your punting strategies to whether you would bet certain jockeys? Because obviously the Northern Circuit, you don't, it sounds rude again, but you don't necessarily get the creme de la creme going up there. Any tracks in Ireland or over here that you would pay more attention to, people that know the track more so than the jockeys or the fancied ones?
Hard
question, I know. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, not so much, really, Dave. One track now I would never have a bet would be, no offense to them, would be like Sligo. I'm like, that's just a greyhound ring, in my opinion. That's just off the top of my head. Like, not really. Like, years ago, like, Willie Mullins now obviously targets Galway more than it was, right? So before, when it got hard, when Willie Mullins was kind of in and out where to go for it, like obviously before, and it's obvious that like to make a few quid at Galway, it's a specific track for specific horses. And you see a lot of horses win there multiple occasions, and you'd want to like a rest in peace Pat Smullen there or something like that, and obviously Dermot Weld used to dominate the meeting. Do you know what I mean? And you'd really look at that first. Now, like, it's Willie Mullins, and you kind of don't mind, who's there. Like, Willie Mullins could bring there and bring first, like the Dublin Race win with first, second, or third strings there now. Do you know what I mean? That's how much depth he has. No, there's certain tracks like I wouldn't have a bit like Cartmel, like in England. Oh my god, I wouldn't go near that. Like, I suppose to me, like, my local tracks are Clarny and the Stole. Like, if people from over in the UK, and I'm not giving out about anyone, would they have a bet there? Do you know what I mean? From the UK, possibly not. Bar the Kerry National, really, would you? Do you know what I mean? At Listowel, it's a specific track as well, and it's horses that you probably half of me wouldn't even have heard of. Do you know what I mean? Where I like betting there, because I know it's not I know who's the better jockey around here. It's just you kind of know which horse has been running around in races all summer in Ireland, when it comes to the jump racing scene. I used to love like Ballinrobe in the summer. Now I couldn't catch a cold there. Like, do you know what I mean? It was just one of those. I used to love it. Now I couldn't back a winner there if you give me free money. I suppose like Kilbeggan as well. Like, they're all very hard tracks to make money at. Like, they're different. I know they look all the same. Ballinrobe, right-handed tight around, Sligo, Kilbeggan. They're all the same type of track. But, like, you'd want to be hard up if you're having a big, serious bet there, if you know what I mean, compared to the big tracks. That's the only way to describe it off top of my head.
Yeah.
One place that I worked up there was Cork Racecourse. I find it very hard to make money up there. It's just an absolute two big, long straights, and it's like the complexion of the rate. You think you're going well coming into the straight in Cork. There's still 3 furlongs of a straight there. Do you know what I mean? And it's like Newbury It's relentless up the straight. It's just flat, long, and you're like, oh, like Betfair. You're probably looking at Betfair coming into the straight and car. Oh, I'm on a winner here, and then that could change 100 times before in 3 furlongs. You know what I mean? It's one of those type of tracks. But the best way I can describe it off the top of my head is that big punting, main tracks, small tracks. Just be careful. Be careful because be very careful. That's just my opinion.
That's fair. And this is where my snobbery comes in. I know I say it very blasé. I'm not that much of a snob, but if I allow myself to just bet towards the top end of it, I'm letting the BHA or the authorities, trainers, owners, connections decide where the best tracks are to run the better types of horses. And again, I know it sounds almost lazy or a bit snobby, but I think that is true. Not to be disrespectful for those big tracks. They will have their Scottish Supreme trial. I don't think any horse has ever gone there's ever even, or hardly ever even bloody running the Supreme. And you get like the Scottish Arkle trial. It's just useless, isn't it? And I know it sounds rude to say it, but it is what it is. It's nice for the people around there. It's nice to have that type of stuff. Maybe they just want to relabel the meeting from the Scottish Cheltenham Trials meeting.
Exactly what you're saying there, Dave. The only time I'd probably have a bet in Scotland, maybe 1 or 2 races, maybe on Parker Memorial Day at Carlisle, and Ayr on Scottish Grand National Day. I'm like, I wouldn't touch Hexham. Like, oh my God. No offense to them. That's a tough track. Even on even if the top class horse went there.
Yeah.
Like, that's a tough track on horses, full stop.
Yeah. I also like the irony of Paul Nicholls dominating the Scottish Cheltenham Trials meeting when we all know that he's buying horses. Actually, that's what we haven't talked about, right? So something that I'm going to say is less of a rant and more of just an honest feeling about stuff, right? Saturday, obviously, Hermes, you feared the worst as soon as he'd gone down. When it's like the next stuff, like they're sickeners, aren't they? Then the Caldwell Potter dispersal comes out, and I felt like I'm making myself question myself about it now. But I feel like the owners got out of it because they're losing horses, right? They don't want to go through that anymore. They've decided to get out, which is why they didn't want to run any more horses before then, because of the risk and all that type of stuff. And I know it is a business, I know it's game, but pretty much like the day after, a couple of days after the Hermes loss, and then the people connected with him go and slap $750,000 on another horse that's being sold for a different thing. Like, again, like I know it's a business thing. I'm being too sensitive, all that type of stuff. Just sat a little bit meh with me, but that's regardless. It doesn't matter. Whoever the purchasers are the purchasers. But there was talk, obviously, about the fact that a lot of money's gone for a horse. He's a 6-year-old, and he bit of a mudlark. I don't know. Strange, but the value of the horse is what the value of the horse is, right? Then there's a horse that's gone to Warren Greatorex, where people are moaning and slating the fact that it's gone to Warren Greatorex. And then obviously we talk about the domination with like your Willie Mullins and all that type of stuff. I'd be interested to know like your thoughts on it, because it's a very hard little spiral with all of it. First thing I thought that came, I've scratched my head there. First thing that came to mind when I thought about Warren Greatorex was, I'm sure I read a Racing Post story recently that he was giving up training horses and just getting into pre-training or dressage or something. Probably like when Carl Hinchy said he was getting out of ownership before he goes and wins the December Gold Cup. But what do you make of that stuff? Obviously, if someone's spending a lot of money on a horse, I guess it begs the question, right? For us that sit on the outside of it, if you had £1 million and you spent it on a horse and you could send it to any trainer, I feel like regardless, everyone would send it to Willie Mullins. But then that's the problem we've got now, isn't it? That everyone has sent it in there. Do you believe that the trainers have that much of an influence? And would you be not necessarily as negative as everyone else with it, but would you be as surprised with the fact that you get a big money purchase that then gets sent to Warren Greatorex?
Yeah, I agree with you there. I thought he would get out of the game. I couldn't, I wouldn't crib sending the horse to Warren Greatorex. Like, Warren Greatorex just trained cold hardened when the stairs hurl. You trained like a horse you said last week, like back Hawaii, won at the Dublin Racing Festival. People forget that. I wouldn't crib that, and it's good to see that like Mighty Bandit is a 4-year-old, and lots of potential, obviously. Bombed obviously at Christmas in the juvenile one by Cala Conte, but 420 grand for him, like 740,000 for Caldwell Potter. Right, it's just pricing the ordinary Joe soap out of the game. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like that's craziness. Like, they're obviously they don't care. Do you know what I mean? And that's no offense to Alex Ferguson and Jed Mason and whoever's the rest of them. They're only in it for the enjoyment. And like, the only thing is now that Paul Nichols is probably not going to send Caldwell Potter. He's probably just going to have to wait till he gets into Paul Nichols' routine. And he's probably not going to see him at Cheltenham. I think they should have been left around the Dublin Racing Festival for the fact of the matter is that it took away a lot of numbers. Maybe not had a chance of winning the race, but it took away a good few numbers in a specific amount of races, and it showed. Do you know what I mean? It really did. But look, this is another big owner come out of the game, and Gordon Elliott's bought some of them. Gigginstown have bought some of them to keep him with Gordon Elliott, which is good to see from Gordon Elliott's perspective. But Gordon Elliott is kind of keeping, know the way he's trying to keep these owners happy at the start of the season, and then here comes Willie Mullins. Then he'll target entry, and Willie Mullins just clean up a punchdown. This is kind of like a rinse and repeat now, unless he gets more owners. Like the Rob Corr paid X amount for horses there, which I think was insane as well, in my opinion. Gigginstown paid insane money for some of the horses, but look, they're only for the enjoyment, I think. But look, the Rob Corr are not in Willie Mullins. The Morans kind of gone quiet. Like Firefox is still there, do you know what I mean? Tipping around. Like, do they have a real top class horse at the moment? They were just very unlucky. Ginto that year, the Bartlett would have been a Gold Cup horse. Do you know when they lose big one like that, it's hard to replace him and get him. It takes another couple of years to kind of get back to there, maybe. But the problem with Willie Mullins, like, look, you start at the start, like, they have the Gold Cup, potential Gold Cup winner. The only thing is, like, the Turleys, they're called, they've been with Willie Mullins for donkey's years, right? Donkey's years. I remember when I was growing up, they had horses with Willie Mullins. That's fair enough. You'd see the Cheveley Park has a few horses with Willie Mullins, but eventually they're kind of coming out, aren't they? Really, haven't seen them with a new bumper horse, like for a good couple of years. The Moniers just want horses now with Willie Mullins. Tony Bloom has all these horses with Willie Mullins. The Donnellys do Willie Mullins and Henderson. Look, JP spreads his horse around. Everyone does that. Rich Ritchie is just Willie Mullins. Do you know what I mean? Am I missing a few owners? Oh, look, if you look at years ago, Kenny Alexander only had him with the Bromhead. Now he has Cargisi and Jay DeCruz, both with Willie Mullins. So they all want Willie Mullins. Is there a kind of a thing now where they're going to have to cap something with him?
It's not his fault, is it?
It's not his fault. No,
and he runs them against each other, not like a Henderson, does he? And it's like we've got the same over on this side, haven't we? Just quickly, just to continue with that. But I think it is. I'm definitely confusing Whittington with Great Rex. Whittington's the one that's binned off any after ruining a load of horses. But that sounds so rude. But we got it over here, haven't we? Paul Nicholls. I said it with Paul Nicholls as well before. Like, the fact that he avoids Cheltenham is because he doesn't have horses that could win at Cheltenham, as far as I'm concerned. There are a few exceptions over the years that I feel like he probably should have run, that he shirked some races, but ultimately he didn't have the quality. He's probably got much more of a squad that he could assemble for Cheltenham this year. And in the past, he's had the same, where he's been able to go and win races. But it's the same with Gordon Elliott. Like, there's a limit to. There was a period where he had loads of his horses, wasn't there? Then there was a period where Gigginstown were getting out. Gigginstown were his number one, like, supporters, I guess, for a period. I know he's got some new owners in and stuff, but think of the infinite supply line of Gordon Elliott. I mean, Gigginstown horses that were going to Gordon Elliott when they stopped going to Willie. That has to have had a positive impact on how Gordon was training horses. He's obviously had his issues that's gone on, but it's cyclical, right? So with the British and the Irish horses will, I don't know, dominate to and fro, be British in another decade, hopefully, who knows? But it is always the case, right? Nicky Henderson and Paul Nicholls will have their races for the year that they want to go and win, and they will just basically divvy the season up between them. And it's the same as Gordon and Willie, innit? Gordon will be good in October, down Royal Festival, all that type of stuff. As soon as it comes to the DRF, yes, I know he got a winner, but he knows there's no point necessarily targeting for that. And it'll be the same when it comes to Aintree as well. He'll put a few back that will run at Aintree because he knows that Willie won't go there. And at the end of the day, if you're doing something to try and get results and win races, you can understand why they do it. And as punters, it's not like we don't know, is it? Which is why, again, as a punter, I want the best horses to be sent to Willie Mullins because I believe that he's going to give them the best chance to win the best races. I would also argue that if any horse doesn't go to the big trainers, so I'd say of the big fours, I don't really think they would have been that good a horse then. I know that sounds really harsh as well, but it's like when Interconnected got sold through the Gretchen Parking dispersal, went to Dave Yates, didn't he? Yeah, Dave Yates. And then goes to Henderson. There's nothing wrong with him going to Henderson, but looked like a bit of a crooked horse, didn't he? And then just never fulfilled the heights. If that horse had been sent to Willie Mullins, it still would never have achieved its potential. No. But if it had been sent to Warren Greatorex, Warren Greatorex would be the person that gets the blame for what happened to the horse, wouldn't he? You've got to have the ability, you've got to have like the quality and the substance to be able to do something with them. Trainers do obviously get like there's varying, like Willie Mullins gets the results because he gets the results, but it's also because he gets the supply of good horses. I do think there are lots of trainers out there that you could give them. They just haven't had the opportunity to train the best of the best, but I'd say most of them are capable of doing it.
But regardless of, I know the fields now in the main races are going to be small enough. Probably the biggest two fields, actually, like the Stairs will be big field, Ryanair will be big field, Gold Cup will still have 8 to 10 runners. There's no doubt about that. But remember now, like at the moment, like he's still at the moment it's only El Fabiolo and Galopan. Like, do you know what I mean? I know Stateman's there, and he's definitely going to get closer to Constitution Hill. But look, you have Constitution Hill. He's outsiders in the Stairs, and he's outsiders in the Ryanair. I know he lost Allaho. Look, you can't do anything about that. But like that's still 2 out of the 5 main races. You know, he's not winning them all. But the problem with what's going to happen is, Dave, and you can see it, if he wins all the novice races, and that's where the competitive factor, maybe when it comes to Cheltenham next year, will show.
This is the best one, isn't it? Because again, I backed Ollie Murphy's horse on Saturday, didn't I? I had the 75 quid on it. Like I say, a friend of mine put me onto it, but like I was more than happy to bet it. I saw the same case as well. My only slight negative, which I tried to get out of my head because I keep slating people, was that when he won in December, he hadn't long left Gordon, so it was all Gordon's work that got him to win that race. And obviously, Ollie Murphy had another month to ruin the horse and couldn't get him to go and win. This is the classic example, isn't it? Which again doesn't mean it's complete and utterly fact, but it's very hard to get away from this, wasn't it? This was one of the funniest, wasn't it? How it finally goes back to Willie Mullins' feed. And then you get people saying things like, oh, back juiced up because it's with Willie Mullins, all that type of stuff, back on the special feed and things like that. I think it's underplayed, and it probably sounds like a mad thing to say given how much we all know that Willie Mullins is the man. It's underplayed how literally good he is. Same as Aidan O'Brien with the facilities and all that sort of stuff. Yes, they've had to build themselves up. But Willie Mullins didn't just start with Clous Sutton as it is. He got successful and he progressed as he went on. Yes, he has got back in, but no one just gave him money because they thought, oh, he's a nice guy, we'll give him a chance. They gave him money because they knew he was capable and he gave people results. He would have soon built a bit like clientele that would have then bombed off if he started to fuck up the results. He's taken it serious. He's taken it as a professional, hasn't he? And again, this is not to go back to the typical Gordon Elliott scenario, but you never know. Maybe Gordon, being a younger trainer, getting involved, getting up to the high prestige, maybe he lost a bit of focus at different times. Maybe the same as with other trainers, Paul Nichols and all that type of stuff. You never know what's in there with all of them. But
I honestly, we're all capable of doing 100%. You just took the words out of my mouth. But I think down the line, looking at it now, in a couple of years' time, if he expands and gets bigger, I think Henry de Bromhead still has a few horses as well, and that poor man's gone through what we all hope we never have to go through, the poor man. And he might kind of dull off a bit. Gordon Elliott might dull off a bit if the Gigginstown really come out of the game. And if the Rob Corr are still backing him, which is good for the game, really. But as you said, they're targeting what they can to appease the owners, you know what I mean? And it could be better to see more competitive stuff if they got more horses, all of them. But I think Gavin Cromwell is hopefully, in my opinion, he's probably now the 4th. He's like Willie Mullins, Gordon Elliott, Henry de Bromhead. Now it's Gavin Cromwell. And just hopefully Gavin Cromwell gets more owners and that he might be able to say, look, we're going to take him on. It's just what you just want to see one trainer. Like, as you said, Dave, you were going back there exactly what you said, and I agreed to. A couple of years ago, Gordon Elliott was having all the winners at Cheltenham. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If we could just get that back again, and hopefully, maybe I'm just only spitfiring. Gavin Cromwell, I think he's a fantastic trainer, gets enough maybe to take him on. It would be great to see. I think that's what people are kind of starved for at the moment. They just want to see some other trainer take on the main trainer. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone likes an underdog story. I do myself. I just love to see it. Me personally, get back to a quick point now and we leave it at that. If I had a horse in the morning and we bought a horse in the morning, I'd like it to be trained by Charles Burns or Tony Martin.
Right. We're not going into ownership together then. The thing is, Dale's saying it here, and it is right. This is what I'm saying about the cyclical stuff there. It will get to that point. You know, recently everyone's been saying everyone's sending their horses to Ireland. It will get like this. More people will send them to races over here. It's it is just that. We've seen it like with every discipline, every sport, everything. No one just dominates it forever because it reaches a point where the
Yeah.
scales have tipped so far that you have to do something. And what they'll do is they'll send more stuff over here. But when the Irish racing gets less competitive from stable to stable, Willie will still run his horse against each other. So Willie's horses will be fine. But when other trainers start to dodge target in races where he's going, the only people that suffer from that are those people that are dodging the races. And over here, just whether it's just by pattern or getting a few more horses, once we start having more competitive racing, which seemingly we get to do, the only negative I will say in the whole entirety of all of it is there are still some really good ones, but it does worry me about like the bumper crop of this year going into novices next year. The novice hurdlers had looked a bit flat this season, and they're going to be the novice chasers for next season. And even if you look at the novice chasers this season, potentially going into be the open chasers next term, like you think of the Arkle, it'll be like a Duke did in every year. None of them are fucking getting nowhere near a champion chaser, you would imagine. And then you come to look at like the Gold Cup type horses. Well, like the British one, Stay Away Fame, might turn into one, but you'd have to say that Grange Clare West, if that's now turning into a frail horse, you'd be worried about that one. Factorfile looks like the one that could step up. We're limited on numbers. Maybe just the quality on both sides of the scene might drop out, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Just because 170, 180 horses are better, if 160 is the new highest horse, it just means the 140s, 130s horses get a bit more competitive. But I mean, I still think we're in a good position. Right, David, we don't have to go till the end. We've got 3 minutes left. I wanted to very quickly, and I want, if you can, one word answers, proper putting you on the spot. The races at Cheltenham. I want you one word answer who wins them at this point, because obviously we've done multiple timestamps in the past. I'll just do the big ones.
I was asked by a specific person this morning, about this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, happy days, right. Supreme.
Ballyburn.
Arkle.
Bound to 50.
Ooh. I mean, Champion Hurdle, easy.
The Constitutional.
Mares.
Did you miss one there, the National Chase? That was on it as well.
Oh, no, National Chase is after, isn't it?
Salvatore Ziggy.
Salvador Ziggy. Mares Hurdle.
Oh, sorry. Geez, I have Mares Novice on the top of my head. Mares. Oh, Lassie Mode.
Bar in Bingham.
Mystical Power.
Nice. Brown Advisory.
Stay Away Fair.
Oh, you're a good man. Where else are we? I mean, I should do this off the head. I mean, Champion Chase, easy one, isn't it?
Fabiola.
I think it's in a different order. Cross Country.
Oh, Delta Work.
Yeah, if he runs, I want to fucking smash him up. I think he's 4-1 on Run of Money Back with William Hill.
Yeah.
Mad. Champion Bumper. You're allowed to pass.
T-Shan.
Like it. Turners.
Factify.
Can't be beat. Ryanair.
Conflated.
Stayers.
Irish Point.
Right, that's all we've got time for. I'm going to have to come joking. Mares Novice.
Die Sardinas.
Oh, Jamie. We should have stopped after Wednesday, shouldn't we? Triumph. Obvious.
Sergino.
Spud. Albert Bartlett.
High Class Hero.
Yes, fair. Gold Cup.
Gallop in the Shop.
The ladies' race.
Limerick Lace.
Oh, I like it. And then final note. Anything in the wake of this weekend that you've had an anti-post swing on in the back of the results? I can happily mention a couple that I have. But anything from you that you've just after the results thought, actually, I need to bet that for Cheltenham now?
I backed Good Time Germany at 12-1 to win the Camaro.
Yes, get in. So I topped up some bomber bets. So I've had more on Argento Boy and Brecon Castle. I am fully overloaded on the bumper. I've had 150 quid's worth of exchange plus I put Brecon Castle on sport. Yeah, and it's split between them two as well. Like I don't actually feel uncomfortable with it either. Where else did I have? I've had more on Predators Gold for the Burr in Bingham as well. I know getting beat's not ideal. I know he might go a different trip. He's 20-1 non-runner money back with Bet365. I think that is wild. I quite like the horse. I did at the beginning of the season. I backed Slade, Steel, Firefox, and Chapeau for the Ballymore or Bear in Bingham. So I got a few on them. What else did I do in the wake of it? I did back Ballyburn straight after, like 5-2, 11-4 on the exchange. Because while there's the uncertainty about him, I know there's only so short he can go down. But he won me a few quid for that bet over the Sunday. Right? Again, I don't tweak this on the profit and loss, but I had 165 on him at 10-11 to get 150 back. On the exchange, he went 2.2, but he was still 10 to 11 with the bookies. So I cashed out the 165, stuck it on there. So I ended up winning a little bit more. So I rolled some of that money up. Bet365 did their boost as well with Ballyburn, didn't they? They boosted him to 64, I think it was. So yeah, I rolled a few quid onto him for the Supreme. What else did I bet? I tried to lay Lucia, but obviously she was withdrawn today anyway. She was 120s on there, so I couldn't do that. I think that. Oh no! This is one again. I feel bad saying this one. I know it's going to piss people off, but I did back Factor File before we ran against Gaelic Warrior for the Turners at 12 to 1. I had 50 on that, and I feel really bad because I was very tempted to post it as a thing to suggest to people, but it is what it is, and I've had plenty of shit bets. I don't think all hope is lost with Jatara, thank fuck, because she got beat. But never mind. I didn't have any more money on that. And then there's a handicap horse that I've bet. And I don't even feel bad that I'm mentioning it now and people want to know who it is. It doesn't shit home, but the price is madness. I will send it to you, Jamie, because you are on the panel. We will be getting stuck in for the preview night of Toaster. I know you guys will feel bad because you think I'm sending you stuff. I give plenty of fucking howlers anyway, didn't I? I tipped up Gordon the Gopher, picked up Fleur, all of them. I'll give you some nice bad value losers. So don't get too worried about this one. However, this one, Jamie, we're going to be holding on to a nice docket. Non-runner money back as well. Oh, it's just so good. But anyway, thank you guys for all your support. We do genuinely appreciate it more than you realise. If you can get to Toaster on that Sunday, it's going to be insane.
And you have to tell them about Thursday night as well.
What's happening on Thursday?
We've a couple of lads from the exchange on Thursday night, I think, don't we? That was for Betfair Super Saturday.
Oh, Jamie, it's happening. Who have we got on? I know I'm trying to act like I'm surprised. Who have we got on, Jamie?
We have the Cheltenham Exchange on. I think there's a few of them, don't we? I suppose we have Bossmanny and Rayner. I suppose we have Johnny, and I suppose we have Ian. It's Johnny and Alex, sorry. Hopefully, the 2 or 3 of the boys, yeah.
Nice. And it's decent racing as well. There's some good racing over in Ireland. Navan and Nace this weekend, isn't there? There's some clues going into Cheltenham for them. We've got 10 up. It's a juvenile as well, which I think's provided the Boodle's winning for the last few years as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what the weather's going to be like at Newbury. It's going to be a bit rancid. But anyway, we'll do that. Yeah, don't use your shit, Dave. I will. I feel like a much better person for it, Chris. I still am like embarrassed about the thing on there, but like it is what it is, and it can't do anything about it now. I feel a bit bad. One day I'll be able to buy him a pint, and then hopefully we'll be able to hug it out, and we'll all be friends. Anyway, right, Thursday then. Looks like we're going live on Thursday. What time are we doing that? 8:30?
We're 8:30, I suppose, will we?
8:30. Fuck it, yeah. And I'll try and calm down. I'll make sure I get some sleep the night before. But Jamie, again, really appreciate your time, especially given the weekend that you have had. Cheltenham Exchange boys, appreciate you coming on a Thursday, especially given the recent track record that it's a dangerous place to be at the moment. But I won't lose my shit. Yes, go on, Scott. I mean, he's got a chance, hasn't he? Get him in there. Anyway, we need to go. We got to go. Yeah. If you want a message about the Cheltenham Toaster thing and you got any questions or anything about that, some freebies or anything that could go on for there, do let us know. I'll try and promote it a little bit more nearer the time. Otherwise, we'll be doing all sorts of stuff on the channel anyway. It's so close to Cheltenham. What is it? 5 weeks today?
And to Trevor Clark there, put up Trevor, come on the 49ers. I totally agree, Trevor. I'm going to be a nice couple of £100 more in my pocket when they win the Super Bowl on Sunday night.
What's that? They still do that? Is that they used to do the 49ers in the betting shops, didn't they?
Like the lucky 49s.
The morning and the afternoon draw. Yeah. I remember there's a few old boys that used to come in the betting shop. They used to come in for 3 reasons, but there was 2 main ones. They used to come in for the Aussie aerobics of a morning, come and have a cup of coffee while the missus was doing that.
Is that why you're wearing the green? Is that why you're wearing the green jumper this week, Dave? Because you think you're Irish now, is that?
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to get everyone in Ireland back on side. And then they also used to come in for the 49ers because it was always 2 women that would stand there and talk about the numbers as they were just doing this. No one was betting numbers. Right, Dale Grimble. Does Willie train the 49ers? Right. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, everybody else. But mostly thank you, Jamie. Bye. Oh, yeah, bye.
Bye. We'll see you Thursday.